Feels good to be back in the cockpit. I'm not gonna lie. So the TED Talk this morning is one that we have played before, but I am betting many of you have not heard. Hello, Roadie Muffin. Hello. Hello. He wants to smooch me so bad. Okay, then you're welcome. There you go, buddy. Thanks, G-Money. Yeah, it feels good. I'm definitely going to change it back, though. Maybe after this week. Okay. Oh, so yeah, I went and worked out with the Babs and then worked out with the Babs again. Greg went out and went running, ran a third of the mile that he walked this morning, which is awesome. He's planning on doing a full mile for his birthday, which I think is a great goal. Anyway, so I said I was going to do a bunch of sharing, so let's do that. If you guys could share, that would be awesome. I'm going to be sharing to my page. TED Talk this morning is from kelley about the potential for artificial intelligence to create the second industrial revolution, which is fancy. What's going on, Tracy? Excuse me. Okay. Fired over to the G&G group. Alrighty. Oh yeah. Dying over here. You know what we should do too? G Money. Let's just share it over to the BR Media group. Unless we want to do like the edits and stuff first. I'll just do it. Then we know it's there, even if we don't get a chance to do the editing. Okay, all right. You know what? I'll wait right till the top of the hour. Tracy said, "Getting ready to start work, listening." All right. Yeah, you know what? I got a guest coming. I'm gonna fire off this TED Talk. Find my book. I don't even know where my 5-minute journal went to. Right there. Booyah. All right, cool. All right, let's check this out.
I'm going to talk a little bit about where technology is going. And often technology comes to us, we're surprised by what it brings, but there's actually a large aspect of technology that's much more predictable. And that's because technological systems of all sorts have leanings, they have urgencies, they have tendencies. And those tendencies are derived from the very nature of the physics, chemistry of wires and switches and electrons. And they will make reoccurring patterns again and again. And so those patterns produce these tendencies, these leanings. You can almost think of it as sort of like gravity. Imagine raindrops falling into a valley. The actual path of a raindrop as it goes down the valley is unpredictable. We cannot see where it's going, but the general direction is very inevitable. It's downward. And so these baked-in tendencies and urgencies in technological systems give us a sense of where things are going at the large form. So in a large sense, I would say that telephones were inevitable, but the iPhone was not. The internet was inevitable, but Twitter was not. And so we have many ongoing tendencies right now, and I think one of the chief among them is this tendency to make things smarter and smarter. I call it cognification, also known as artificial intelligence, or AI. And I think that's going to be one of the most influential developments and trends and directions and drives in our society in the next 20 years. And so, of course, it's already here. We already have AI, and often it works in the background, the back offices of hospitals, where it's used to diagnose X-rays better than a human doctor. It's in legal offices where it's used to go through legal evidence better than a human paralawyer. It's used to fly the plane that you came here with. Human pilots only flew it 7 to 8 minutes. The rest of the time, the AI was driving. And of course, in Netflix and Amazon, it's in the background making those recommendations. That's what we have today. And we have an example, of course, in a more front-facing aspect of it with the win of the AlphaGo, who beat the world's greatest Go champion. But it's more than that. If you play a video game, you're playing against an AI, but recently Google taught that AI, their AI, to actually learn how to play video games. Again, teaching video games was already done, but learning how to play a video game is another step. That's artificial smartness. And what we're doing is we're taking this artificial smartness and we're making it smarter and smarter. And there are 3 aspects to this general trend that I think are underappreciated. And I think we would understand AI a lot better if we understood these 3 things. And I think these things are also would help us embrace AI, because it's only by embracing it that we actually can steer it. We can actually steer the specifics by embracing the larger trend. So let me talk about those 3 different aspects. The first one is our own intelligence has a very poor understanding of what intelligence is. We tend to think of intelligence as that it's a single dimension, that it's kind of like a note that gets louder and louder. It starts like with IQ measurement. It starts with maybe a simple low IQ in a rat or a mouse, and maybe there's more in a chimpanzee, and then maybe there's more in a stupid person, and then maybe an average person like myself, and then maybe a genius. And that this single IQ intelligence is getting greater and greater. That's completely wrong. That's not what intelligence is, not what human intelligence is anyway. It's much more like a symphony of different notes, and each of these notes is played on a different instrument of cognition. So there are many types of intelligences in our own minds. We have deductive reasoning, we have emotional intelligence, we have spatial intelligence, we have maybe 100 different types that are all grouped together. And they vary in different strengths with different people. And of course, if we go to animals, they also have another basket, another symphony of different kinds of intelligences. And sometimes those same instruments are the same that we have. They can think in the same way, but they may have a different arrangement, and maybe they are higher in some cases than humans, like long-term memory in a squirrel is actually phenomenal, so you can remember where it buried its nuts. But in other cases, they may be lower. And when we go to machines to make them, we're going to engineer them in the same way, where we'll make some of those types of smartness much greater than ours. And many of them won't be anywhere near ours because they're not needed. So we're going to take these things, these artificial clusters, and we'll be adding more varieties of artificial cognition to our AIs. We're going to take them and we're going to make them very, very specific. So your calculator is smarter than you are in arithmetic already. Your GPS is smarter than you are in spatial navigation. Google, Bing, are smarter than you are in long-term memory. And we're going to take, again, these kinds of different types of thinking, and we'll put them into like a car. And the reason why we want to put them in a car so the car drives is because it's not driving like a human. It's not thinking like us. That's the whole feature of it. It's not being distracted. It's not worrying about whether it left the stove on or whether it should have majored in finance. It's just driving. Just driving, okay? And we actually might even come to advertise these as consciousness-free. They're not without consciousness. They're not concerned about those things. They're not distracted. And so in general, what we're trying to do is trying to make as many different types of thinking as we can. We're going to populate the space of all the different possible types or species of thinking. And there actually may be some problems that are so difficult in business and science that our own type of human thinking may not be able to solve them alone. We may need a two-step program, which is to invent new kinds of thinking that we can work alongside of to solve these really large problems, say like dark energy or quantum gravity. So what we're doing is we're making alien intelligences. You might even think of this as sort of artificial aliens in some senses. And they're going to help us think different, because thinking different is the engine of creation and wealth in the new economy. So the second aspect of this is that we are going to use AI to basically make a second industrial revolution. The first industrial revolution was based on the fact that we invented something I would call artificial power. So previous to that, during the agricultural revolution, everything that was made had to be made with human muscle or animal power. That was the only way to get anything done. And the great innovation during the Industrial Revolution was we harnessed steam power, fossil fuels, to make this artificial power that we could use to do anything we wanted to do. So today, when you drive down the highway, you are, with the flick of a switch, commanding 250 horsepower, which we can use to build skyscrapers, to build cities, to build roads, to make factories that would churn out lines of chairs or refrigerators way beyond our own power. And that artificial power can also be distributed on wires on a grid to every home, factory, farmstead, and anybody could buy that artificial power just by plugging something in. And so this was a source of innovation as well, because a farmer could take a manual hand pump and then he could add this artificial power, this electricity, and he'd have an electric pump. And you multiply that by thousands or tens of thousands of times, and that formula was what brought us the Industrial Revolution. And all the things that we see, all this progress that we now enjoy, has come from the fact that we've done that. We're going to do the same thing now with AI. We're going to distribute that on a grid, and now you can take that electric pump, you can add some artificial intelligence, and now you have a smart pump. And that multiplied by 1,000,000 times is going to be this second industrial revolution. So now the car is going down the highway, has 250 horsepower, but in addition has 250 minds. That's the auto-driven car. It's like a new commodity. It's a new utility. The AI is going to flow across the grid, the cloud, in the same way electricity did. So everything that we had electrified, we're now going to cognify. And I would suggest then that the formula for the next 10,000 startups is very, very simple, which is to take X and add AI. That is the formula. That's what we're going to be doing. And that is the way in which we're going to make this second industrial revolution. And by the way, right now, this minute, you can log on to Google and you can purchase AI for 6 cents, 100 hits. That's available right now. So the third aspect of this is that when we take this AI and we embody it, we get robots. And robots are going to be bots, are going to be doing many of the tasks that we have already done. And a job is just a bunch of tasks. So they're going to redefine our jobs because they're going to do some of those tasks. But they're also going to create a whole new categories, a whole new slew of tasks that we didn't know we wanted to do before. So they're going to actually engender new kinds of jobs, new kinds of tasks that we wanted done, just as automation made up a whole bunch of new things that we didn't know we needed before. Now we can't live without them. And so they're going to produce even more jobs than they take away. But it's important that a lot of the tasks that we're going to give them are tasks that can be defined in terms of efficiency or productivity. If you can specify a task, either manual or conceptual, that it can be specified in terms of efficiency or productivity, that goes to the bots. So productivity is for robots. What we're really good at is basically wasting time. We're really good at things that are inefficient. Science is inherently inefficient. It runs on the fact that you have one failure after another. It runs on the fact that you make tests and experiments that don't work, otherwise you're not learning. It runs on the fact that there is not a lot of efficiency in it. Innovation, by definition, is inefficient because you make prototypes, because you try stuff that fails, that doesn't work. Exploration is inherently inefficiency. Art is not efficient. Human relationships are not efficient. These are all the kinds of things that we're going to gravitate to because they are not efficient. Efficiency is for robots. Okay? And we're also going to learn that we're going to work with these AIs because they think differently than us. So when Deep Blue beat the world's best chess champion, people thought it was the end of chess. But actually, it turns out that today, the best chess champion in the world is not an AI, and it's not a human. It's the team of a human and an AI. The best medical diagnostician is not a doctor, it's not an AI, it's the team. So we're going to be working with these AIs, and I think you'll be paid in the future by how well you work with these bots. Okay? So that's the third thing, is that they're different, their utility, and that they are going to be something that we work with rather than against. We're working with these rather than against them. So, the future, where does that take us? I think that 25 years from now, they'll look back right now, and they'll look at our understanding of AI and say, you didn't have AI. In fact, you didn't even have the internet yet, compared to what we're going to have in 25 years from now. And so, there are no AI experts right now. There's a lot of money going to it. There's billions of dollars being spent on it. It's a huge business, but there are no experts compared to what we'll know in 20 years from now. Okay? And so we are just at the beginning of the beginning. We're in the first hour of all this. We're in the first hour of the internet. We're in the first hour of what's coming. And the most popular AI product in 20 years from now that everybody uses has not been invented yet. That means that you're not late. Thank you.
Anytime a guy who was the founder of Wired magazine, who was actually there at the first hour of the internet, says that AI is like the first hour of the internet, you probably want to pay attention to that if you're of an entrepreneurial state of mind, or even just if you're curious in any way, shape, or form. So on the goal review, didn't weigh myself this morning, but the other day I was 204.6. Starting fast today. G&G Fit last night was awesome. It was great to hang out with everybody. On the business side, we're hired Greg on to do some production stuff. That's going really, really well, and that's going to open us up for a bunch of big projects that we have coming on the thing. I'm making some basically some planning boards. Totally copying Mears Plumbing from this. They got whiteboards up at their shop that has all their goals on it. So I have client acquisition goals. I'm like blah 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 blah. But basically, if you don't have a plan and it's not up on your wall, it's probably not going to happen. Yeah, Lori, well, I'll send you the TED Talk link too if you want. Ain't no thing. So yeah, got to rifle through stuff relatively quickly today. I got a new guest coming from BNI this morning, and I want to make sure there's some extra coffee made in case you need some. Maybe put on pants. It's funny, I keep looking over there. The camera's over here. Greg, you're messing with my system. However, dealing with change is probably good. So, if you would be so kind, write down 3 things that were amazing that happened yesterday. For me, by far, I mean, the G&G Fit meetup was great. It always is. All 2 of them, but still. It was good stuff. Just to be able to connect with everybody and sort of get, getting questions answered, and that's all good. But seeing people sort of either commit to or recommit to their goal and their sort of process is it's just fun to be a part of. Frankly, I like it. I had a great meeting with Gus and Babs yesterday. That was fun. And an awesome BNI meeting. Just started kind of doing some shit that they didn't really expect, which is kind of fun. Doing some videos. I had a great meeting with Karen. One thing I wanted to have you guys weigh in on, if you know anybody that's even been considering selling their house, it has shifted over into a legit seller's market. The supply of houses is apparently going down a lot, which means that you know, there if you want to sell it, you're going to get an awesome price for your house now. Puppy is whining. So how could I have made yesterday better? I think I need to add in more walking. It was great working out this morning, but I think more walking is gonna be good for my brain parts and my body parts. Greg said, grateful for improving health, grateful for the opportunity to improve my financial outlook, grateful for quiet motivators like Tracy Ray. Let me preach, buddy. Amen to that. The quote today: sometimes you face difficulties not because you're doing something wrong, but because you're doing something right. Oh, we did shoulders this morning. Oh, man, oh man. That's crazy. So I'm grateful for my back because it is not dying right now. It's actually doing pretty good. Actually, grateful for BNI, the networking group that I've been going to. Sorry, guys. There we go. So yeah, I might have to murder my dog. And by murder, I mean, I don't know, get him a muzzle or duct tape his face shut, or just love him. So Jamie said went shopping with Emily and had a great day out. Too. My health seems to be better the last couple of days. Awesome, man. That's good to hear. I've been getting my house more organized. Yeah, one of us has to do that, and it is not you. It is me. Trace said grateful for our new neighbors in Bayonet Point, GG Fit Tribe, and new opportunities. Amen to that, my sister. So yeah, grateful my back's holding up. Grateful for BNI. Like, it's a networking group, but I feel like it's more of a, for me, it's more of a business education because I need one. Like, we're sort of planning a big project and hanging around with. Hi, lay down, please. Yeah, I still love you a little bit, but only a tiny little bit. Yeah. Anyway, it's been really good. And you know what? I sort of put Tracy on the spot a bunch yesterday. I am really grateful for Tracy Ray. Like thinking about a new challenge that we're working up for next month. You know, we have our sort of physical goals, right? Like there's going to be weight loss, and we're starting a performance version of G&G Fit, so it'll be about muscle mass and push-up reps or something. Whatever it is, like whatever people want to track. And at least half of that is wanting people to not only engage in the accountability process and the sort of what makes G&G Fit, that the group and the methodologies and the posting and the accountability buddies and stuff. But there's clearly some people that Tracy will say she benefits a lot out of this, and I'm sure that's true, but that go out of their way to help other people, and that's my favorite part about what we're doing. It just is. So I want to encourage that as an example. And so anyway, so that the G&G Fit thing, I was calling Tracy out a bunch, and it's because I'm a huge fan. Oh, no way. Kathy Birmingham, grateful for G&G Fit Group. My baboon room shirt fits at last. Grateful for a good day yesterday. That's awesome. That's so cool. Awesome sauce. What would make today great? Well, I got a coffee guest I've never had before. Don't tell anyone. That always makes me a little bit nervous. And then a bunch of other stuff going on today. I don't even know. I'd have to look at my calendar, which I should probably do. I just will, and everything will make sense. Oh yeah, so I'll be messaging a couple people today about potential business side stuff, which is fun. Okay. I'm a huge fan of this. That's good stuff. Can you sit? Thanks. Road, leave it. Hey. Down. Thank you. Good boy. See? Now I don't hate you at all. Okay. All right. So, yep. That's all I got for today, I think. We kind of nailed it. Kind of nailed it. All right, Jamie. We will talk about that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where I'm going to be next Monday. Tracy said today would be great if I can rearrange my office to be more efficient at work, running out of space to serve the needs of many expectations. Well, it doesn't surprise me that people are putting a lot of expectations on you. You're kind of rad. And what do you guys think? What do you guys think of me moving Goals and Gratitude to nighttime? Is that crazy? I mean, you guys are here, and that's awesome. I think I might try that. Like for like drive time, maybe like 4 or 4:30, something like that. You guys have any thoughts on the matter? Somebody has a thought about something. G Money is inbound. Yeah, right, Tracy? That's interesting. So, you know, like I was thinking about like when they do the whole drive time thing in the afternoon, right? Like when people are sort of in the cars or whatever. And while I don't want people to drive in and watch, a lot of people drive and listen. Okay. So I'm gonna run. Greg's coming over to make or help me out with coffee this morning. So I'm gonna run and do some coffee making and stuff. But thank you guys for your opinions and for your continued support and stuff. This is very nice. Yeah, Tracy, exactly. That's interesting. Interesting. Okay, we'll talk more about that. Jamie, good talk. All right. All right. We'll talk to you guys soon. Tracy and G Money, if you're on here, I'll see you guys tonight, and we'll kick some wholesale babinski. I don't even know what that means.